Good evening. Hello, everyone. How are we all doing? Whoa, I'm going all slow-mo. It's not about weird. Hope we are all well. Manchester City draw 1 each down at the AMEX Stadium against a very, very good Brighton and HOVE ALBION team. Big congratulations to De Zerbi, all his players, Tony Bloom. Really, really good team and deserve Europa League football. So big congratulations to them. I'm going to bring Richard in a minute. Yo, FIFA's in the building. I had a break from watching the game. I was relaxed. Can't comment. No worries, mate. I get it. We all need a little bit of off time now and again. Stones is injured. Nope, Stones is fine. I'll tell you that now. Stones was precaution. Foden is not injured. Fine. Tightness, no injuries. Pep says Stone's the only fit centre-back. We'll see. We'll see. Just be careful on that. From what I got told earlier, there's only Ake unfit. The rest are just niggles, and they'll all be fine by Sunday. Pep's not going to tell everyone. Can't type as I'm driving soon. No problem, Dean. Good evening. Hope you are well. Scrubber, good evening. 11 likes, legends. The media campaign against City is embarrassing. We're going to talk about that tomorrow night on the Thursday night chat. We're going to talk about this, where the agendas will come up. Big up, Foden is back when I'm still starting Bernardo and Grealish on the wing against United. In it now. Signing Cisco, the kid is a special talent. Yeah, he is, but big step up from Brighton to City. I know City, he's on a list, but he's not on a major list. Can't complain. Brighton played well and scored a world. He's still unbeaten. Exactly. Hey up, Blues. I'll take that consumer drank Collar Beard in Manchester 40 hours ago. Exactly. Evening, Mark. How are you, mates? Great result. We were half at it, so happy we didn't lose. I didn't think we were half at it. At all. Thought we were all right. When will our fans finally realize how lucky we are? I'm going to talk about that a little bit. There is a little bit of mad ass going on online at the minute, which I'm baffled about. We won the league. We need to get 2 behind the club. Manager plays. Shout out to Rico. Yeah, didn't need to win. Exactly. But use it as a wake up. But why wake up call? I don't get the wake up call bit. He's a special talent. He's decent. I need to see more of him before I start rolling out the special talent bit. Just for me, I don't just roll out special talent, world class and all that straight away. I need to see a bit more because he's a talent. Whether he's going to be special, we don't know. We were robbed. I'm going to talk about that as well. I'm going to bring in the gentleman. Rich, Pat, good evening. How are you?
Good evening. How are you?
I'm fine, mate.
Hello, Martin. Hope you're well, mate. Yep, all good over here.
Oh, hello. You got a frog in your throat?
No. It's fresh coming from you.
The weather, mate.
Fresh coming from you.
Yeah.
Oh, someone's grown up and got a set of balls.
Yeah, right, eh? Missed the sound permanent like the front of my driveway.
Listen, 40 a day keeps the cobwebs away. Listen, this is just Manc accent, mate. That's what it is. You all right, Rich? Did you say it was 22 degrees?
I think it's going to be about that today. Sunny. You know, unfortunately,
Rich, continue, mate. Mate, continue, because the photos you're getting sent next week, I'd be quiet right now.
Mate, when you live there 52 weeks a year, I'm not going to get too jealous.
It is, Alan. I'll give you that. They are the best team we've played home and away this season. I'll give Brighton every bit of credit. Just floats past defenders so easily. I use wake up call loosely because we looked a bit off it. I think we were just still half pissed from the other night, Jack. If I'm totally clear with you, mate. We learned Ederson must start both finals. Yep. 100% of that.
Yeah, I don't think he will start the FA Cup, though.
I don't know. We'll talk about it. Thank you, Alan, for the super chat. This team we've played, the best team we've played. Got to give it to Brighton. Top side, top manager. They are. sure you just written that. You didn't have to pay for it, mate. But really do appreciate that. Just don't want losses, wins or draws. Still want that 90+ points. Palmer has been good the last 2 games. I'd say game and a bit. I'm still not. There was still his end products against Chelsea was poor for me, Daniel. Poor. Put out of hospital.
At the end of the day, Martin, he got an assist against Chelsea, and we'll probably argue in 5 minutes that he should have got an assist tonight. I mean,
I'm not going to argue about that, mate. It was a goal. Sorry, it was a goal. I'm not going to.
Where Palmer isn't quite at the level of some of the others is in the control, but he is, looking more confident, really running at defenders. So, he's more a backup for someone like Foden than being, coming in for a Grealish or a Mahrez. But, I think he's looking better, and that sort of player who can run at players, beat a man, put a cross in is what we'll probably often need in the last half hour, of a game that's tight or if we're not winning. So I think Palmer, if he continues, the last few weeks, I think he, is a more season of football every week to really take that step up, or whether we can get that, like Phil being dripped in and out the side. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not. It sounds really awful. I'm not paying a lot of attention into. I am and I'm not. It's a very hard thing to measure at the minute, as you know, Rich. It's hard to measure how a player does now. Because it's like pre-season, isn't it? They all look amazing in pre-season. And then they're all rolled out.
I know.
2 weeks later.
I agree. Yeah.
If it becomes a
game
with 3 points on the line to win a game, Palmer's nowhere near that team.
Yeah, I just hope that we give him a shot. A kid who's been with us his whole career. Mank lad from Withenshaw. And I'd like to see,
Rich, totally
see him either get given a really good loan.
But he's not going to get that shot, mate.
No, but he could get more shots in the cups next year. He could get given a loan somewhere. We get
To me, he needs a top loan. When I say a top loan, I mean a Premier League loan.
Yeah,
get him in the Premier League. That's where I want to see. And not because I think Cole Palmer's a bad player. I think Cole Palmer's a great player, Rich, and Pat will probably agree. I think he's a great player. The trouble is, to get into a Manchester City team, you've got to be an exceptional player to get in, week out. That's the problem.
Yeah.
It's the levels in it. This is the problem. Manchester City are not... I don't want to say stuff like this because it sounds so arrogant, but I don't mean it in that way. I'm just being, that's where we're at now. We're at a level where you have to be on it to be in the 11. It's a weird one. Pat, what do you think about the Cole Palmer? I mean, we'll go through the teams in a minute.
Yeah, look, it's simple. The guy needs game time, and he's not going to get it at City at the moment. If anything, I think for his development, he really needs to go to a Premier League club that not only is he going to get game time, but I think he's going to get relied upon in a way, because I think it's going to help him develop not just as a player, but as a young man as well, which we've said before, previous shows. I think Burnley is a perfect suitor for that, because he's going to be under the tutelage of Vinny. It's going to be perfect for him, not just in terms of his game time and his development, but just because, I think if he has a great season with them, it'll really excel him further in his career, saying, I was the spearhead, towards Burnley staying up and hopefully being a mainstay for the future of that club for years to come. So I think these next few weeks in determining where he's going to go to is really going to factor big time in his career for the next 5 years, I think.
Yeah, funny
I'm
enough,
going to talk about that clinical.
I think we trust Burnley. I think we probably trust Sheffield United now after, McAtee and Doyle. So there's possibly two clubs where we could loan a player who we really want to be getting game time. I mean, in a way, I'd send Palmer to Sheffield United and try and get McAtee if he's not going to be part of the squad to someone like Burnley because the player slightly.
We just rotated him around.
Rich Coventry's a shout if they get promoted too.
Yeah,
it depends, Pat.
I've got a soft spot for them, Pat. So I'd quite happily
here he goes.
give them two decent players to help them stay up.
Here we go. Coventry this, Oxford that, Kiss Me Arse this. But he hates Wycombe Wanderers. Weird that one, isn't it?
No, I hate about 85 clubs, and I have about 7 that I don't hate. Well, obviously 1, 11, 6 I don't hate.
Rich is currently driving, that's why.
I quite like West Ham as well,
Bloody hell, Rich.
For a Premier
Luton
League
Town.
side, hate them. Absolutely hate them. I'd kick them out of football.
Oh, bloody hell, just because they don't have to go through your back garden to get in the ground. Behave.
Yeah, but my childhood was traumatised by them fuckers.
Oh, Rich, David Pleat is not going to dance in your back garden. Stop. There's people on here wondering what we're on about now, isn't they? Because they're so young.
The only person I've forgiven for that day is Brian Morton. He earned his way back into everyone else.
Yeah, he had to, mate. He became our manager. David Pleat never became the City manager.
Yeah, I did love him as a manager.
Right. I'll go through the team because some people are talking about the team was very much changed again from Sunday. Ortega went in net again. Kyle Walker, who was my man of the match tonight. John Stones, Roderick, Lewis, De Bruyne, Gundogan, Bernardo Silva, Mahrez, Haaland, Foden. Now, it looked very, very like, this is where everyone's going to play. I said to the lads, for the first 20 minutes, it looked like playground football for me. We were doing flicks, tricks, sort of FIFA rainbow flicks. Everyone was going everywhere. So nobody really had had a role.
Who was it in the Brighton defence who did a Cruyff turn on the 6-yard box?
Oh, I can't remember.
Van Ecke, the Dutch.
I'll tell you what, I text these two tonight. I went, when did Erling Haaland turn into Darwin Núñez?
Yeah.
I went, what's happening with him? He had the header in the first few minutes, and then he did that one where he just ran at Steele, and I'm like, shoot. I just forget, don't shoot, just run at the kid then. It was such
a Darwin Núñez thing to do.
That's what. Yeah, you see what I meant when I said, "Is he Darwin Núñez now?" Because he just ran at the keeper and never once tried to shoot him.
He was trying to. I think he was trying to
go around him.
Get it. No, I think he was trying to get it onto. It was on his wrong foot for where he was, and I think he was just trying. When you watched it back, because we played it a few times, it looked like he was just trying to get it. Perhaps onto his left foot and. Where the ball was, it was going to be a right foot shot, and it just looked like he just slightly overran it, trying to get it from one foot to the other, to finish. But his heading's improved a ton in terms of getting up and getting the ball and really putting himself there over the season. But he has put a few over the last couple of weeks, or missed a few.
He's warming
headers,
up,
and I think that's going to improve. That's the funny thing. These things, he said before he came to City, his heading was a weakness relative to other things, and you can see how much he's improved. But when he starts getting those staying down, that's probably another 5 goals a season he's adding.
Yeah. I mean, FIFA's put here White loan. Listen, the reason I'd loan, mate, is because he's not going to get into the first team. He's not going to get in ahead of Grealish. He's not going to get in ahead of Mahrez. He's not going to get in ahead of Bernardo, and he's not going to get in ahead of. Alvarez and all that. It's not fair on the kid. They let the kid go on loan. It's not fair to just bang him back on the bench again or let him play in the Carabao Cup early rounds. He deserves better than that. Let him go out, and that's all I mean by it.
And if FIFA's referring to why loan instead of buyback or sell-on clause or anything like that, is
I'm talking a loan.
Pep still rates him very, very highly.
Yeah,
and he has the luxury of being young enough that we can afford to loan him out for a season. Maybe
the way I look upon it, if James McAtee can go out on loan, Cole Palmer can go out on loan.
Yeah.
Simple fact.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring Alan in. I'm going to speak about Ortega in a minute because some thought he was man of the match. I thought he was dodgy as hell. I'll be straight with you right now. Evening, Alan.
Good morning. I'm sorry a bit late. I was on the tram when the stream started coming into work. So
what, you were under the tram
today?
You look all right.
I was under the tram. Yes. Yeah.
He was under. Were you under Tim Berry's tram?
Well, yes. Yeah. If he's sober, if he's sober,
he's been under a few.
Oh, God,
he's been under a few.
Daniel, BA, bloody hell, you're not his agent. It was a very good goal. Not a patch on the Gundogan goal, mate. The AHOVE goal of the season. What? So you think shooting from 25 yards, 30 yards out is more than taking it on your fly and shooting blindly?
Martin. It was a pass out from the keeper and went through the team all the way to scoring that goal. It was a team goal, mate. As well as
one thing right now.
Alan, calm down. You're still not under that tram.
Don't shout at me.
Well, just saying, it was a fantastic goal.
No, Alan, stop.
Oh, sorry, I'm disagreeing with you, am I? Right, sorry.
Does Alan come on just to be Knobhead Central?
Well, no, I mean, I think, to be fair, Martin, it was a fantastic goal. And
Rich is not that. I'm not going to be shouting out like a 5-year-old on my own stream.
But it wasn't, I don't think it was quite the brilliance of Gundogan last week. Although we all know the goal of the season's probably going to not go to either of them anyway. It'll probably go to some goal by bloody Marcus Rashford or something.
No, I will.
Anyway,
I will say this: you've got to hold. You've got to say, you've got to give your hats off to Brighton. They're a fantastic team, and that's the best team I've seen play this season. I know we had a lot of changes. I know it was the end of the season, but Brighton were fantastic. I really did enjoy watching the game,
and they had more
watching them.
Yeah, they had more changes. And that's
I know,
but fair. I mean, they were
brilliant.
Much
they were brilliant.
At least five players they rested. I think it's incredible the job that's been done there by their data people, by Potter and then De Zerbi coming in.
Yeah,
it's and improving what we thought was an unimaginably good side for what their resources and what they spend. Fair play. No, I was chatting with.
That's down to the CEO and the.
Tony Bloom.
Yeah, it's a very well run. Brilliant.
Can we just put what we really should be putting today's game down to is the simple fact that isn't this just proof now that this is if this is what this game to me put to bed any arguments as to what is the best league in Europe now and the best league in the world. Because what we got to see today was we got to see the current champions against the Premier League's next batch of absolute possible future generational stars. Put together by a well-run club with a really good manager who, let's not forget, came in during the season and then obviously made statements by going to Anfield and a 3-3 draw in what was effectively his first game as manager with De Zerbi. I enjoyed every minute of that game. And I'm sure, if that was a game where we had to win the league and we had full strength, the same strength we had against Real Madrid, I'm sure Brighton would have gone out there and probably put on the same sort of performance. I think we probably would have taken control of the game at points, at times there and, probably would have gone away with a good win. But I would have expected Brighton to put the exact same performance on the pitch as what they did today. To also start without McAllister as well. And that young Evan Ferguson looks like a real talent for the future. I just have to, stand and applaud and say, Premier League, you've got yourself a potential great fixture here for the next few years, I think. And I can't wait till we play Brighton again next season. And all the best to them in the Europa League too, because I think they'll do really well in that competition.
Yeah, I think you've got to be careful, though, because Brighton are going to be stripped.
They are, but that was,
of all,
that was
Martin, of all the teams that you say,
I've not had a chance to speak. I get one line out and everyone comes at me.
six. They rotated 6 players today, so that is their, arguably half of the reserve side they had out today. Now, obviously, the 2 young lads who were playing behind Welbeck, 18 and 19, they'll have ups and downs, as they really come through to the team. But I think what it's saying is that we've got these kids, Ferguson's 18, 19 as well. We've got 3 kids less than 20 playing in their front 4 today, for chunks of the game. And
Rachel, and they'll all be good in 2 years.
Yeah.
But
Martin, also too, do you look at that? The way Brighton runs as a club, and they'll just look like another version of Borussia Dortmund in a way, because you say these players are out the door, they're going to make fantastic profits off these players, but they just keep finding all these young gems from all around the world and just bringing them in for pennies on the dollar and then selling them for millions.
It is the Mancunian way, ladies and gentlemen. We haven't changed into Seagull FC or anything. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's not Brighton and Hove Albion fan TV. I do.
It's a Seagull sessions.
But let's be honest, right? That I've got, as I said, I've got a lot of mates who are Brighton fans, and it's not that long ago they were playing against Hereford on the last game of the season to stay in the league. 20 years ago, and
we were playing Stockport. What's your point, Rich?
Yeah, their depth was a good 35 places lower than us. They were sponsored by a local pizza restaurant, and they were playing at a local college athletics track.
Rich, we had to sell Sean Wright Phillips before we went bust.
Yeah, their entire stadium and worth as a club was less than Sean Wright Phillips.
Like I said, I do apologise. This is a Manchester City fan channel.
And what Rich is embodying here is what we should be doing. Everyone should be doing it the Mancunian way, is being humble and appreciating good opposition when we come up against it, man.
Well, I've not had a chance to say anything, Pat, because everyone just jumped on me when I say anything.
Appreciating a team who's been through the roller coaster like we have. We've actually been lower on the roller coaster than we have, and they went down in '83 with us, and it took them a lot longer to come back up and to come back. But same with Wolves. Wolves were down in 22nd in the 4th division. I like these clubs who are real clubs who've experienced the ups and downs.
Martin,
sorry, I'm just doing a minute's applause for Brighton and Hove Albion.
Martin, the floor is yours.
Right, can you get to my point now?
Patrick, I will say one thing. They made 105 million on transfers last year. And last year they made 105 million, and they did.
Yep, they'll make another 105 million more and still be
well-run
sixth
club.
in the league.
Very well run.
Yeah. Anyway.
Exactly.
Jesus Christ, you know what kind of shows we're going to get next week when I'm not here. Tune in, everyone. They're going to be classics. Jesus. Just take a trip down memory lane every week. Anyway, listen, Brighton are a very well-run club. Tony Blamer's done a good job.
Yeah.
But they will always be a selling club, because that's the way they are. Anyone who comes through is half decent, he's gone.
Yep.
They buy cheap, sell big. That is great. Next season, we'll judge them properly. They're going to have to balance Europa League football and the Premier League. Playing Thursday, Sunday, not an easy task. So we'll see what happens then. Yes, they are very, very good footballing-wise. Deserby is a very good thing. The problem is, anyone who is half decent, makes their name, they leave. So that's all great, well, and everything else going. Brighton are best there. Like I said, congratulations. Great footballing team. But Leicester City won the league. They're about to be relegated. That's all I'm saying. I'm clapping, Charlie, because I don't get a chance to speak, mate.
Which team in the entire 92 league club has more is
Rich,
Brighton
breaking
than any
up
other
really
club.
badly,
Yeah, Rich, you're having a bad connection, mate.
Very big.
are you
Rich,
are you
no.
So I think that's quite different to Leicester. And I do think that, you know, say they're a selling club, but they will be selling better and better players and keeping better and better players. If they stay in the top 6 next year, that just strengthens them, and they.
He's gone.
Anyway.
He's in the tunnels, are they?
Yeah.
There's Sydney, I reckon.
Brighton will be playing Thursday, Sunday next season. That will be difficult. Exactly. Listen, Brighton are a very, very well-run club, but they will never compete because even if they do sell them players, they recruit very well. They do recruit very well, but there is a ceiling to what they can do, Charlie. That's my point. There is a ceiling. Palmer should go on loan to Brighton.
It wouldn't be a bad shout because they play great
Why are we
football.
talking up Brighton? Good team, but move on, please. Because these three want to turn it into Brighton Fan TV. No idea why. My apologies, Pardo Oaks. We will get. No one wants to hear you talk, Martin. They certainly don't, mate. Do all the work and then I get told to shut up. Bring NC to Man City. I've seen enough of him since he joined Brighton. No. You're allowed your opinion, Daniel, but not from me, mate. Anyway.
It's a nice idea of City possibly scouting these players, but they need at least another season in the league before we even consider that. At least one more.
It's a bit like the Matomo thing. I want to see the guy for a year, 18 months, consistently do it.
Yeah.
Rich, you
The
back?
player I'd want is McAllister from Brighton, but I don't think that's happening.
Right, anyway, back to my point I was saying about Ortega.
I will say.
Go on, man.
Go on, Alan.
Martin, go on.
Ray Fairley just put it. Is this the City channel or are we just blowing smoke up Brighton's asses all night? What the hell is going on? I've got Rich swing. What is going on here tonight? What is happening? I've entered Twilight Zone. Oh, Alan's gone now.
Oh, no. Yeah, his connection was getting a bit dodgy there.
Right. Ortega. Some have given him man of the match tonight. I'm a bit blue with it. He scared me tonight. Sorry.
Yeah, he was living on a knife. He was living on a knife edge there most of the game, wasn't he?
First half, thought he was.
Yeah.
Do you not think that was because we had a 7-man press on us most of the time? And, you know, that was one of the most intense presses we've had against us this season.
Yeah.
So, you know, they were pressing us at the edge of the penalty area. And, you know, it was a bit knife edge, but I can't help but feel that if Edison had been playing, it would have been knife edge too, because, you know, there was, you know, Bernardo was having to dribble the ball around the penalty area a few times because the press was right up to the penalty spot. So I don't know. I mean, I agree it was a bit edgy, but I kind of think maybe that would have been the same with Edison playing, except we'd have been a bit less nervous with Edison because we're kind of a bit more used to it.
I think Edison's better than
yeah,
Ortega doing that.
Yeah, I think he's the best in the world at that kind of playing with your feet under pressure in the penalty area. But I do think, you know, that was partly down to them, not just us.
Yeah. Listen, we will move on. I promise you we'll get to the actual City part of this whole thing. tuning
Muted,
into
mate.
about Manchester City. I do apologise for the first 15 minutes. Anyway, listen, Ortega, listen, I think he's a very, very good shot stopper. He's okay at distribution, but I've always said for me, Manchester City is a distribution from the back team. I've always said it. If you wanted a shot stopper, it'd have kept Joe out. Top and bottom of it. It is simply, or Edison, like Rich said, is the best in the world at what he does. And that's why. Listen, Brighton played very, very well. Thought Rodri being at the back three, thought, oh, that was interesting. Now, I know everyone's hit the panic button tonight because they all think Laporte's injured. Akanji's injured. Stones is injured. They're not. They're fine. From what I was watching someone who does know these things, someone who gets, there's a guy called Blue Tone on Twitter. He gets the team news spot on nearly every week. And he said, because he's in a group with some people at City, and they're all fine. There was no injuries. They're just
Snowden and Stones walked on the pitch after 90 minutes. They were walking around on the pitch after. Yeah, they didn't.
They're all fine.
They went out the back end treatment.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the one I didn't get was, I completely got, Diaz and Akanji and things, they need rest, leave them at home, give them some time off. I didn't quite get why Laporte wasn't there, because it's, none of us are really imagining Laporte's going to play in the last 2 games. So I was kind of surprised Laporte wasn't being used. Maybe he just, he was too emotional after Sunday or something. But that surprised me. The others,
did it really, Rich? Did it?
Well, yeah. Why would you? Why would you play Rodri at the back rather than Laporte if Laporte's fit?
They're saying that
Again,
the Stones. They're saying Stones. The Stones Eagles hamstring.
No, Stones is fine.
And I watched on TV. That's what they're saying. Is he? You sure?
Well, yes.
Okay, good. I hope you're right because we need him, especially for the Champions League final.
Ray Fairley didn't see a trophy for Brighton tonight. What's the fuss about? He couldn't do nothing about the goal. The goal was amazing. I will say, like I said, nobody's injured. Listen, there's a difference between a tightness and an injury. People are going to feel tightness at this stage of the season. They're always going to get that. All you do is you wrap them up, nice cold bath, whatever, while they have these cold baths and shock baths and everything else that they have. Or are they called shock pools? The shock pools, shock baths, you know what I mean? They're just... I've got a tour of them. If you've ever been on that tour at the Etihad, you see them all. They're very high.
They've got a hot pool and cold pool.
Ice bath.
One. Yep. No, they're not called ice baths anymore, Alan. They're called something a bit more technical now. When next time you're over there, go on the Etihad tour.
Blood flow after a game.
Quite intriguing.
They've got them here, mate.
The video thingy area.
Yeah. One assists with blood flow and the other one assists with lactic acid.
Yeah, they have the cryo chambers at City.
Yeah.
I wouldn't fancy going in one of them and the doors locked and you're dead in 10 minutes. But anyway.
I mean, listen, tonight is, you got to remember, Pep said it, they've been on the piss for 40 hours. They've drank all the beer. And I know you didn't want that, Rich. I know you wanted them to all play nice and put the feet up and have cups of tea and Yorkshire tea and a bourbon biscuit. But they haven't, mate. They've been on the piss for 40 hours.
Well, quite a few of them don't drink, so some of them might be on the piss.
Who told you that one?
This guy's like, I've seen the interviews with Haaland. He barely touches a drop.
Haaland was out on the piss with his missus. They were in pajamas. They were in pajamas, Rich.
He got kicked out of a nightclub in Norway for getting too drunk.
Yeah. Rich, don't believe all that one.
Yeah.
I love the way Rich is so naive and believes it.
Scandies have no chill, mate. They drink like bloody fish.
I just assume professionalism, Martin.
Rich, have you not seen him and his missus had matching pajamas on that night out the other day on Sunday night when they all went out afterwards?
He wears matching bloody pajamas everywhere. He goes on holiday and he wears pajamas every day.
It's like, isn't Mahrez not meant to drink? But he's like, cocktails, let's go.
It's like an 8-year-old with some of his outfits with the bloody Teletubbies on them.
I mean, listen, I thought, let's look at it. Phil Foden tonight. Now, did he pull that? Because he was in pain, wasn't that? I don't know whether it was a knock, a pull. I don't know. Because watching back, I can't.
They said Achilles.
Yeah.
He must have got caught somewhere then, I'm guessing.
Yeah. They said
at
he
some point.
But
obviously, was anyone expecting Haaland to chip Steele at that point, by the way, before he squared it to Foden?
Yeah.
No.
It looked like he was going to pull the trigger before Foden rocked up.
I think the defender and the keeper were too close. I think that would have been goal of the millennium if you could lob the keeper and from there. I think he did the right thing. Clearly.
Hello. Oh, it was great analysis. Deep analysis, that one. Charlie, where have you got all this? That Foden's injured and he's injured and he's injured. No, told you nobody's injured. They're fine. They're just having pain and injuries are different, mate.
Yeah.
They're in pain.
Let's be clear though, Martin, no one knows, we can say what we think no one's injured, but no one knows yes or no on those things. And even if you got
I do believe this guy on Twitter. I know you think I'm mad, Rich. There's a guy on Twitter. Look at him, Rich. He's called Blue Tone. He has never had the team wrong. He puts out. Do you know when I give you all the team?
Oh yeah.
2 hours before the team's even walked out.
There's two things here. Blue Tone might know whether Diaz and Laporte and Akanji are okay. I'm not arguing about that, but I'm saying, as for Foden and Stones,
he's come out and said no injuries from anyone.
No one will know till tomorrow morning when they've pulled up and they've had a physio whether they've got a niggle or whether they're just knackered. So, we need to be careful being categoric on something that no one, even the physio at City, won't know for 100% on the players who played tonight whether there's any, niggles coming from it.
Well,
but,
all I Blue Tone said an hour ago. Yeah. Blue Tone said an hour ago, as it stands, absolutely no City player will miss the FA Cup final. That includes Ake, who should be fully training shortly.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be back tonight from the words out of the club that he.
Well, he was jumping around on Saturday night, wasn't
he? Yeah, I thought he'd get a run out tonight. I mean, he's got to play against Brentford now.
Here's a question to you both: has Foden forced his way into an FA Cup final?
Yeah,
I'd like to see Foden in the FA Cup final because of the space at Wembley.
So who you
and I'd like to see someone run. Well, from which team? I mean, you talk about who are we dropping from the Real Madrid team, or are we saying Real Madrid teams are strongest 11?
My honest opinion is the strongest 11, maybe by the goalie, will be the FA Cup and Champions League final teams.
Yeah, well, so, the question for Foden is whether we feel in both those games we need Bernardo as the extra midfielder and play Gundogan and Bernardo and De Bruyne, or whether one of those players doesn't start the FA Cup and we play Foden because, it's hard to see not playing Haaland and Grealish.
Charlotte, listen, it's up to you to believe, mate. I know this Pluto and he's in a group with people who work at City, mate. That's how I know. So he will know. So
yeah, he probably won't
say.
get any more tips though after you've mentioned his name 35 times.
Yeah.
He'll probably be
Anyway,
from the WhatsApp
can I be honest
group
with you? I look at it because Andy was talking to a guy on Sunday, and then I turned up, and we were told that Brighton would, not Brighton, Chelsea would be very changed. Tonight would be slightly more changed, and the idea is to go back to basically full strength on Sunday. Because I think the idea was Pep was going to give him this week to let off the steam. Let them celebrate. Let them get hyper. Let them have a few drinks. And then from Sunday onwards, it was going to be, right, we're back to seriousness now. Would you say that's the right thing to do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only shame is that they don't have a midweek game next week. But apart from that, yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah. That's the only thing.
I don't think so. I think the last thing we'd want is an extra game with the tired legs 4 days before that. I think.
Yeah. Rich, I still think they'll play an intra-squad game during training midweek anyway. So, you'll have half the squad playing against each other and that, yeah. So they'll still want to be playing some sort of, high tempo sort of.
Oh, yeah, but it'll be very, very focused on just,
Oh, God, yeah.
The right level of sharpness and moving through. I mean, I think going back to your question, Martin, that the two things City have got to decide, I think one is that kind of has Foden played his way in, can he play and who would he come in for? The other one is, I think we're going to have 5 in top form, played the big games defenders, and we're going to have to go with 4 of them. So, I think, there's going to be some big decisions there about, is it Stones and Diaz, with Stones stepping up from centre back and Walker playing, or does Stones go to right back and, Akanji and Diaz and Ake comes in, or do we go for Walker and Akanji fullbacks? So I think there is one of those players, probably, I suspect, well, actually, I don't know, it depends on Ake's fitness. One of those 3, Walker, Akanji or Ake, is going to miss out on one or both of those games in terms of starting, you would think. And that's a big call to make because, you've had some very big games and different combinations of those players. And we just said Ake's the nailed-on starter for most of the season. But in those big games now, his part against Arsenal and Real Madrid, etc., hasn't been there. So that's an interesting one. That's probably the other thing. It's who misses out in defence. And is it the same?
I think when we get into next week, I think for me, I don't know about you, Pat. Sorry, I'm not over time. I'm not trying to over talk with you, Rich. I think it's connections in and out, mate.
Speaking of connection.
Are we back?
Let's say, yeah, I think we're good now.
Are we good?
Yep, I'm fine.
Right. I honestly think the biggest debate is going to be Ake and Akanji. But I think we get into that more next week when you do the FA Cup final preview. So I think that's going to be the biggest debate of all, Ake or Akanji. Because I think the others...
Yeah. I think for the FA Cup, because I think Walker against their pacey wingers, but I don't know, Inter Milan, that's one. May you go for Akanji and Ake fullbacks against Inter? I don't know. I mean,
here's a question from Ben Wolger. Would this season be a failure if only the league is won?
Depends
to everyone else that isn't City, yeah.
If you asked at the beginning of the season, no. Winning the league is success. If you ask them now, probably yes, because that means we've lost 2 of our last 3 games in big games. So, I mean, it's a point in time thing, isn't it? It's
To
not.
me, no, I won't say it's a failure because to me, the main goal of the season has been won. The league for me is always number 1. But it doesn't matter because we're going to win all 3 anyway.
Yeah, I think we said that at the beginning of the season. What's success? Well, success is winning your domestic league. But, you know, if you asked me in 2 weeks, you'd probably feel a bit differently if we went and lost the FA Cup and, you know, Champions League now.
See, difficult Addy on the defence because it was very much changed tonight. Because my man of the match was Walker. I thought it was exceptional tonight.
Yeah.
But Tomo, now out of him. McAllister, when he come on, yeah. And Cisco scored that fantastic goal. We've got to give him credit. It was a fabulous strike. Ortega could do nothing about it.
Even the
little
City
bit of
fans behind the
trickery.
goal reporting it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm still got the Gundogan down as goal of the season. Just for the sheer skill of the Gundogan goal.
Yeah.
To bring it down on his thigh and do a basically no-look shot. You've heard of a no-look pass, but to do a no-look shot is something I've never seen before.
Mm.
He's not even looked at the goal. He's back's the goal, and he's managed to know where Pickford kind of is and still score it at the same time. To me, it's just goal of the season. The defence, we don't know because Diaz wasn't there. Aki's out. We don't know who's thing at the minute. For me, the team that played against Madrid should always start the FA Cup final and the Champions League final. There is no reason for me to change any of it. There is a week between them. There is no need to rest or do this for that final. To me, they should be able to roll out 2 games into 14 days. Well, 7 days even. One on the Saturday. Well, they're both on the Saturday, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. One Saturday and one following Saturday. I think we're looking into. I think we're doing this City artist thing of United are going to come out and kick shit out of us. Not a lot of we say that a lot. Like we said it about Everton and Brighton and Brentford. They're all going to kick shit out of us, and they don't.
Yeah, a lot of that's gone. I mean,
doesn't happen.
Yeah, there's too much hugging and stuff in derbies now.
No, and that's what I mean, Rich. It's not like that anymore.
Yeah.
It's not Platt Fields anymore when you're going kicking them up and down the dale and throwing them in a tree. They're all mates off the pitch.
We need the spirit of Mike Gill back.
Rich is like, I want them to kick shit out of each other. Please.
Well, I have to say, I do. There's been a few derbies recently where I've just thought, you know.
Yeah, they're not derbies, mate.
Especially on United side where, you know, you see it with Roy Keane, who clearly thinks they should just bloody go and kick the City players and show some passion, but where just teams have just totally rolled over and barely even tried. And it does take the edge out of a derby without that feeling that a red or a yellow is coming at any moment. And it's really quite recent phenomenon. Because even when they were miles better than us, you know, you still had, you know, Scholes and Keane being dirty every bloody game.
Do you know the last derby for me that was like that? When Mickey Richards, I think it was the 6-1. Do you remember very early on when Mickey Richards was pounding everyone and everyone was just going through each other?
Yeah.
Like that was like
in that game. Yeah.
That was the last one when they had like the Johnny Evans and all that and Fletcher. That's when the derby was like, let's go and have a fight. Now it's let's all have a little cocktail at the end and a come by our sing song.
Yeah.
It's not the same anymore. And that's what I mean. This thing of, I think we're worrying about this United are going to kick shit out of us on the field. It won't happen. Because for a start off, they won't have the ball. Even Brighton, who are the master of possession, we had more possession than them tonight. And Brighton are like, I think the 4th or 5th in the whole of possession league tables in the whole of Europe.
Yeah.
By the way, I want to add as well, 25 games unbeaten now, Pat. 25. 20 wins, 5 draws.
It's impressive.
It's like I just line them up and he's just, I don't know. I've got Alan comes on and just screams at me for a minute for no reason.
Like his foot's still stuck under that tram. Like,
Hello, I like coffee, and congratulations, by the way. Well done. Don't know why you're singing about Italy. You might not even get an Italian team yet, mate. But congratulations on getting to the Champions League final. Yeah. And then obviously we get to the big talking point. Now, I honestly think, yes, I can see what people are saying about the pulling of the shirt. This is my problem with it. If that is ruled out, then we had a penalty earlier on.
Yep. Because Bernardo was through.
Can someone tell me the difference?
I don't know.
Exactly.
It's one of those decisions where I hate it when it's against us, but I hate it if if it was the other way round, you'd feel the same. So it's just kind of like, and it was soft, and Cole was looking for it. He wasn't really stopped by the shirt pull from actually attempting to go from the header, but he kind of almost straight away decided my shirt's been pulled, therefore I'm going to stop and make a big deal. So really drew attention to it. But whereas really he should have been still battling for that ball. I think that was not, good football by him. I mean, it worked, but I think you've got to keep fighting. You don't just let someone like Haaland get a free header because you had a little shirt pull. But because it was a game that, in a sense, really didn't matter. It was, probably doesn't get the emotion going or the anger going for most of us, apart from Pep, obviously, that it was disallowed. And yes, yeah. I think you'd have, that you could probably go and disallow 50 goals in the Premier League this season by a player that were allowed.
Exactly, that's my point, Rich. We're disallowing every goal going.
Yeah.
Every corner. I mean, I don't know how many goals have been scored from corners. I'm not Mr. Stow, I don't know. But I'm telling you now, I bet you could chalk 50% of them off.
Yeah. And that's,
if you're following that logical rule.
Yeah. But normally a defender, if they have a little shirt pull, doesn't give up, put their hands in the air to the linesman and let someone have a free header.
I think it was Haaland, Rich. I think he thought, I ain't going to win this battle, so I'll throw my hands in the air and hope and pray I get it.
Yeah, possibly. But, that was, if that goal had been allowed, that would have been...
I wouldn't be surprised if that's a tactic of teams next season.
Could be. I think we need a clearer indication with VAR. Because apparently VAR didn't even look at that Bernardo one. That's now been confirmed that VAR did not look at it.
They actually spent more time looking at the potential handball for Mahrez, and he clearly had his hands tucked into his body when that cross came in.
Yeah. Now let's put here. Bernardo was 100% going to PSG. They have the money. Still don't know. Depends. Gundo wife wants to live in Barcelona. I saw this today, and Alvarez will not want to stay. We're not starting game time. Bayern are interested. Apparently, Bayern are interested. They want him as their number 9. Problem is, he's going to cost about 80, 90 million quid. Bayern Munich ain't going to pay that.
I think we'd probably ask for over 100 for him, to be honest.
Well, there you go. And Bayern ain't going to pay that.
No. Yeah, Enzo went for 120, and he's better.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I do know that apparently the Bayern thing is true. They are interested in him.
While we're talking about Bayern, Martin, what do you make of the stories about Joshua Kimmich? I'm still convinced he's a Bayern lifer, but
I'd love him.
there's a lot of
He's always been-
things. There's a lot of things like the City Extra Boys mentioned a few
Yeah.
things that would suggest that there might be something to it. But I'm still convinced he's a lifer.
He's
I'd
not
love
a
it.
true lifer, though.
But he'd be
You know,
great.
he
He'd be
was-
fantastic.
Yeah, he's not a true lifer, Pat. Though he came through Leipzig's academy, and
Okay.
you know, I think I don't know how old he was when he signed for them. You know, he might have been
Yeah.
18, 19, but I don't think he's a Bayern lifer. I think he came in. I thought from Leipzig or somewhere originally.
It's like maybe another Philip Lahm in a way.
I simply look at it and I think I would love him. Kimmich has always been my
Unbelievable.
my
He'd pick up
my
where he left
dream
off from
midfielder.
Pep at Bayern when Pep was at Bayern.
always been my dream midfielder because you got
Yeah.
the versatility. He's big and he's strong.
Yeah.
Apparently, there is an issue with him and Timmy Tuchel.
I think there's an issue with the whole politics at Bayern, to be
He's
honest.
only got 2 years left in his deal. The problem is he's going to cost a lot of money. And whether we can work some out with Cancelo, I don't know. But
It's a good thing we got that trade piece.
I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know because Pep was having long talks with McAllister tonight and giving him big hugs. And apparently City have entered that race as well. So I don't know.
McAllister for me would be I think he's got a lot of upside. I think he's he'd be a player I'd really be after.
Yeah. And with Natalie a
Kimmich
bit, I do think Bernardo goes. I think Bernardo goes this summer, but Gundogan stays.
Kimmich would be incredible because he's he gives us a right. He's kind of a bit like the half John Stones, half Rodri, and has some other things there. But he would give us amazing coverage in that kind of centre midfield, right back, Although how you get Kimmich, Stones, and Rodri in the same side would be interesting, but I think he'd be a perfect Pep player. Oh, he's a perfect Pep player.
Yeah, we didn't win the Community Shield. So it would always be a failure. Yeah, there is no difference, Daniel. It's madness. Someone said, would I have in Cisco? I think it's too soon.
Maybe
Trouble is with Cisco.
Come back to this in a year or two.
Yeah. The problem is with Cisco is it. Listen, the kid looks a wonderful talent. Again, we have loads of kids with wonderful talent. Does he get in the first team? Are people going to leave first team football, a team 6 in the league, to come and sit on our bench? This is my problem. You've got to remember, you've got to look at Manchester City very differently now. Manchester City is like not off the field, but on the field, we're like a Real Madrid, a Barcelona, it's the best get in. You've got to look at it in that sense. We're not even getting bloody McAtee into our team. Are you willing to bring in Cisco in and then kill McAtee's career completely? Because to me, that's what you do then. Don't know what anyone feels about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're more likely to go and sign those types of players when they're 16, 17 and bring them through the academy for a few years and spend big money on them at 19, unless it's a player we think is going to be a genuine world-class talent who can come into the side, or it's a bargain like Alvarez was. It is hard. It is a hard ask because you come in. Do you lose first team football for 2 years whilst you learn to play City's way and get in the strength, or do we wait and the alternative is though you wait until they're 80 million pound players and you pay 3 times as much. But I'd be surprised on us going for players like that.
FIFA, no, listen, people didn't laugh at you because you wanted Kimmich. Go back to another channel I was on. I talked about Kimmich then. Didn't laugh at you for wanting Kimmich. I laughed about the idea of getting him. Because like Pat, I'd never thought he'd leave Bayern Munich. I never ever thought he'd leave Bayern Munich. Things have now changed. I don't know what has changed. Whether Tuchel's done something or the Kahn stuff, I don't know what's gone on. There's a lot of upheaval going on at Bayern at the moment, so things are changing.
There's quite a lot of things going on because Kimmich apparently was very, he's very disappointed the way Bayern sort of, let Nagelsmann go. Bring in Tommy Tuchel in, who does certainly stir the pot in terms of politics of German football, and especially at a club like Bayern Munich as well. There's a massive power grab going on at that club at the moment too for the presidency, because you've got Oliver Kahn, I think Karl-Heinz Rummenigge, you've got Uli Hoeneß, obviously still, pulling the strings of that club a lot too. And Tuchel's also, I think he's come out and said publicly too, he's not a fan of playing Goretzka and Kimmich in the midfield together in the midfield either. And there's a lot of things going on here that could suggest there's some truth to it. And it's more than just like maybe one or two column inches coming out at the same time that, you think, oh, this is a bit of a coincidence or something. There's a lot of things going on, and that it could be out of sorts here. And there is a possibility that, given with the Cancelo trade piece, which we could use, that this could pick up some steam. It really, really could.
Yeah. And by the way, it was me who said FIFA, don't be deluded. And I didn't mean it in an insulting way, FIFA. So I apologise if you think that. Like Pat said, it's like if you'd have said to me 3 years ago, if Haaland was doing what he was doing now, and you'd be like, no, he's never going to leave. It's sometimes things change. I've always liked Kimmich. I've always liked, it was the other one I liked. It was the other one. Can't think of the other guy.
Well, he's still playing, or you talking?
Yeah, well, he's kind of not playing anymore. He's coming to the end. I always wanted him.
From Bayern?
No. Who was it? I can't. I'll think of it as it going.
Who is he playing for?
I can't remember his name. His name's deluded me. His name's gone.
So it's
like Benzema. Like me saying Benzema. Then you look at, when he moved from Lyon and went to Real Madrid, the Benzema at Lyon is not the Benzema at Real Madrid. The potential was there, and he's gone on to do amazing stuff, but he became world class at Real Madrid. Problem is, everyone's had a nibble at Benzema, but you always knew he was a one club guy once he walked into Real Madrid. The Kimmich, I never called to write him. Others are, like I said with me, but I didn't mean it in a derogatory way.
How dare you not show my comment there long enough?
I won't say it.
Disgraceful.
Say it.
From you and from the club. Potential there of having the best generational talent is Danny Allsop, and Pep doesn't put young Alex Robertson out there. It's absolutely disgusting.
What do you want?
I want Alex Robertson on the bloody pitch. Would have done something today.
Oh, go and play your ashes. Anyway.
Did you get my WhatsApp?
Go and play your ashes. Football ain't for you.
Did you get my message in the group chat, Martin?
No, but when did you send that?
Just have a look.
Yeah, champion is exactly. Listen, no, listen. If you're moaning about tonight, stop. We're 25 unbeaten. Do you know what? It was a game I really enjoyed because there was no pressure. There's no pressure at all. I thought it was a very enjoyable game, and it was two footballing teams. When do you ever see footballing teams like that? That just go hammer for tongue. Some were doing flicks. Nobody was parking the bus. It was just fun to watch. Is it me, or did anyone just enjoy that tonight for the spectacle it was?
I enjoyed it from the first minute. It was like a Premier League exhibition showcase of the current champions against potential stars of the future. And it was. I wouldn't say it was spectacular. For it to be spectacular, it would have had to end 4-4. That was the only thing that was stopping it from being a spectacular game. Wasn't as many goals as the game probably deserved.
Yeah, I think that's definitely true for me. You know, great football. There was no jeopardy, so there was nothing to get tense or worry about, or worry about. It was great football to watch, and there's no one I really hate on the Brighton team. I don't hate Brighton like most teams, because we'd been playing.
You're getting a season ticket there, aren't you?
No, if it wasn't City,
oh man, you're just sounding like a Palace fan now.
I'd be going down to the lower. No, I hate Palace.
Hummels.
Yeah.
Thank you, Neil. That was the one.
Just nice and chilled and relaxed again. But
what's happened to that?
Pep
Have I missed some news on that
to
thing?
get a yellow.
How is it a shambles for the UCL screening? What's happened? Can you elaborate on that anymore, FIFA? Like we did say, there was a Coldplay concert that night. By the way, anyone wants to know that the Champions League ticket access code that closed on Monday. That's all done with now. It was done. It was finished at Monday. The ticket pricing, category 1, 599, category 2, 425, category 3, 156, category 4, £61. There is no ticket information yet. They're still waiting. There is an allocation of 19,926. The thing that was funny was, I don't think we saw it on Twitter, and I don't want to call them out for it, because I don't mean it in that way. How many tickets did your group get?
We haven't gotten word yet as to how many we've got.
Right, because a few
We're still waiting.
A few.
Some supporter groups, most of them in the UK, have already been told how many they're getting.
Jakarta Blues have.
Yeah, they got 7.
Now,
the question is, out of how many? I don't know. Did 7 apply and they got 7, or was it 700 applied and 7 got it? That's the question.
Listen, this is not a dig at Jakarta Blues. It caused an uproar on Twitter. People went crazy on it.
Yeah, they shouldn't have posted it, because it came up.
I don't know who's at fault. The people having a go shouldn't have a go, because it turned into, I'm going to go and join a foreign supporters club. I've got more chance of getting to big games than I have being a season ticket holder. And then, should they have posted it? I don't know. It's a very scary debate to go down. That to me is becoming a rabbit hole. And I don't even know how to even approach that one. I think it's unfair. I think it's unfair for fans to have a go. But maybe I do agree with what Pat says in a way. Maybe just keep it quiet. Don't broadcast all over social media.
No.
Because I don't think I've seen any other supporter group do that.
You shouldn't be.
Because you kind of use your common sense a little bit, don't you? And go, this is going to wind some people up.
Especially any of these supporter groups out here in Australia, where the demographic is quite high in terms of Mancunian expats. If we find out any of our supporter groups get allocated less than what they did, there'll be an uproar there. Never mind anything that happens. It comes out of the UK. There will be an uproar.
Did you see that, Rich?
No. So where was it?
It was just some on Twitter, Jakarta Blues.
Yeah, it also came up with Jakarta Blues' Instagram as well too. Yeah,
they'd applied for and got 7 tickets for the Champions League final. So you can imagine the comments. Oh, you're going to a Champions League final? How many home games you been to?
Yeah.
So it just started World War III.
Yeah,
and like I said,
I mean, you would keep quiet. I mean, and at the end of the day, you don't know who the people are getting. I mean, you can have someone in Jakarta who's an expat who's had a season ticket for 25 years and there, or you could have a 20-year-old kid, son of a millionaire who's never been to a City game, but gets a ticket. So you don't even know when you see stories like that. is it as outrageous as it sounds, or is it not quite the same? And that's the difficulty, you know. But you wouldn't boast about it, would you? Any time where you're really boasting about getting something that someone else has missed out on, you know, it's just showing a bit of common sense.
Well,
What do you mean FIFA they want passports? Do you mean a screening, or do you mean going to the game? If you mean going to the game, it's always been a passport with your ticket. The passport had to match the ticket. No tickets were ever going to go out on the open market and be done. They were always going to get. This was the trouble. If you remember last season when he got moved, and you know when you saw all the Liverpool fans jump in gangways and nobody could get in, that was part of the problem. Because the tickets didn't match the passports. So they were not letting them in. They've come out, and I think it's been a rule for a few years now that the passports have to match the tickets. Because your name actually goes on the ticket now. Because when you apply, if you notice, you don't apply through Manchester City. That's why you've been given an access code. You go in to buy your tickets through UEFA, not City. The access code just grants you something within the UEFA website, from what I believe. You go on the UEFA website and put your access code in, which takes you to buying your ticket. Without that code, you can't get in to buy your ticket. City are actually selling the tickets. UEFA are. And you need your passport, ID. Is there something else, Pat? ID. Because when I applied, I needed my passport, my driving license.
No, just passport for us.
And we got driving license.
Yeah, because a driver's license for Australia would be irrelevant when you got your passport anyway.
Oh, you can drive at 12 over there, can't you?
Probably, yeah.
You start driving when you're like 10. Let's go and drive. You do. I like coffee. You need to get your passport out. Just enjoy it. Because listen, you're going to get some big boys. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. But listen, we're all happy with tonight. 1-1. And that's what it is. I probably misread. Right. Cheers, mate. Appreciate that. Like I said, 25 unbeaten now. That is amazing. We roll on to Sunday, Brentford away. Then, right, few house tips. If you are not a member and you wish to win the signed Kevin De Bruyne frame from Premier Sports in Denton, it is also available on the Premier Sports website, which I'm going to get some links next week or the week after when I get back. Premier Sports, Eddie, and the gang down there I think he's called John, do a magnificent job. Some great Manchester City memorabilia, football memorabilia. They've got some boxing memorabilia as well, and they've got City chairs and from old Main Road days, and they've got United stuff if you've got any Reds you want to do. But yes, get down there in Denton. If you want to DM me or email us, we'll give you the address. But yeah, you have to be a member and a subscriber. 99p. All it will ever cost you enters you into it. For the 50% goes to Alzheimer's Research UK, 50% back into your channel to continue the growth, and then we'll make a decision on whether we carry it on down the line. There'll also be 2 draws. There's going to be one for that and one for the Bernardo Silva. Donna and Dan, I have emailed you back, so just let me know. I'm going to pay for the postage. They're going to send it to me. So you'll have 2 frames. The KDB one on number 1 will be number 1, and then the Bernardo Silva one. And there'll be a show tomorrow night, 9:30. We're going to talk Brentford. We're going to talk the 2 big games, some transfers. We're also going to talk, I want to talk about, is these new, how the media are now opening up the 115 charges. Apparently, we should not be celebrating. We should be hanging our heads in shame. According to Scott Minto, there was a few others as well who come out and said we should be hanging our heads in shame.
And I think it's interesting. There's a few things to talk about at that, because reading some of the articles, particularly in what used to ironically be the Manchester Guardian, how people can talk about the spend in football and not even mention Chelsea. It's quite fascinating how you talk about spending money in football and only mention City, PSG, and Newcastle. And if that starts to make you think what the real purpose of that article is, because if you actually care about spending in football, you'd talk about United, you'd talk about Everton, you'd talk about Chelsea, you talk about City and Newcastle and PSG as well. But the fact that it only goes on owners from a certain part of the world and owners from all the rest of the world are ignored, that does make you think it's got nothing to do with football and financial fair play. But I think the person who said it best is, if City won the league when financial fair play is in place, does that mean the real, asterisk should be in the 100 years before that when financial fair play wasn't in place and obviously the game wasn't fair? So City should be getting more credit because we've won it in an era when football's fair, as opposed to Liverpool and United who won it in eras when it was completely unfair.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, some of the stuff I have seen is they would even kick out, they wouldn't have had all these owners ever in the league. So does that mean if Qataris do take over United, they're going to be banned? Be an interesting one. But we'll talk about that as well. It's just pure racism.
Yeah, and it's going to kick off this summer when Newcastle get their new shirt deal.
Yeah.
When they get a new stadium deal and all these things are going to happen, and they'll all be from businesses, no doubt in Saudi or, linked to Saudi.
I've been saying this to Baz. I've been saying it to Pete Proudlaw.
Yeah.
I've been saying it for ages. If they think what they get now is bad,
yeah,
it is the tip of the iceberg.
Mm-hmm.
Wait till you start winning stuff.
Yeah. Oh, exactly.
Trust me,
I mean,
you
they're
have no
starting to get
idea
it
what's
now
coming.
because they've denied. You're starting to see on particularly on Twitter a lot of Liverpool fans attacking Newcastle. Undeserved place in Europe, and you can start to see that. The three red cartel, the American-owned clubs, they think they have a right to be in the top four no matter what happens on the pitch, and as soon as they're not, they are attacking. Whichever of the two teams that they feel have stolen their rightful place that should happen, without, any football even mattering. It should happen just because we're Liverpool, we're United, we're Arsenal. We should be in the Champions League. And, that is showing their true colours of what the rules were about and everything else. But I guess we'll talk about that tomorrow.
Yeah, I will get into it. By the way, did anyone get any of the extra FA Cup final tickets? They were on sale for a quick fart. Literally, they were on sale for about a minute. They went. Yeah, joke. But anyway, we'll talk about all this tomorrow night. I'm not here next week, as you know. There will be a post-match on Sunday, which I will be live on from my balcony. Sunny Tenerife. My cocktail, and then there won't be another show after Sunday until Thursday. There will be a 4 or 5 day break. Gives the lads some time off to themselves as well. Then we are back Thursday. So the next 2 Thursdays shows will be on tomorrow's, and the Thursday after I will not be on the Thursday one. I will not be on the FA Cup countdown one. The Thursday night one next week will be FA Cup countdown special. I'll get as many on as we can. I will be in the background, but there may not be comments up on the screen. I'm hoping one of the lads, I can get them to read the comments out, but you may just get your comments read out. They may not come up on screen, only because I'm not able to do the comments on my phone. Because my missus will go balmy at me if I'm doing that while I'm in the bar. I'm not on karaoke. And then for the FA Cup final, I'm there on Saturday. So the Sunday will be Sunday night. The 4th of June is when the post-match show will be. I'm not here. I'm not travelling back from Wembley and going live then. So the post-match from the FA Cup final will be on Sunday the 4th. And then all that week will count down to the Champions League. And I can confirm to you now there will be a Champions League watch-along. So there will be a watch-along, followed by post-match. So there you go. And then later on that week, we'll do the giveaway. I think that's everything explained. Did I miss anything?
Just make sure you're singing a few Tina Turner songs for your karaoke, mate.
I'll let you explain that because sadly the legend has gone.
Rest in peace, Tina Turner.
I think you probably need to give a bit more praise to Brighton before you finish the stream.
No way. Alan shouted at me when he come on.
I felt you were being mean to Brighton.
He just screamed at me though.
Well, he had his foot under a tram.
Yeah.
I thought you had your foot on him.
We're not in Melbourne.
Everton have been in. That's a great point, David Mack. Great point. Why no Castle? When we reckon the bus parade is? Bus parade will probably be Monday the 12th.
Yeah.
Who is Tina Turner? Simply the best. Better than all the rest. Private dancer. Dancer for money. Dancer for Pat. Anyway. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us.
Thank you, Martin.
Richard.
Thank you. And time for work.
Yeah. And up the seagulls.
Good old Sussex by the sea.
I'm starting to get the impression these lads text each other privately to wind me up.
No, many rich don't text. It's just telekinesis.
Big word for you. You swallowed the dictionary.
I've seen you sweat when you hit about 4 syllables.
No, that's just being fat, mate. That's just being fat in the summertime.
You can't eat syllables, mate.
Anyway, we'll see you all tomorrow night, 9:30, live on the Mancunian Way, Thursday night chat. It will be live up on the channel soon. We'll see you all later on tonight in 9 hours, about 21 hours time. We'll be live. We'll see you later on. Take care, all.
Cheers.
Don't forget, smash that like and subscribe. I always forget to do that. Take care,
everyone. All right.
It's all right.